Hello, everyone. I'm Wilmer Valderrama.
I'm Freddy Rodriguez, and this is the Dos Amigos podcast.
Yeah, we have a very special episode today. I don't even know where to begin. Our guest is someone that I've known for a long time. We've trusted each other with our lives.
You guys have shared a milkshake.
Yeah,
right?
we have. Her milkshake definitely got this boy to the yard.
Oh, yeah.
Any of you that guys are watching or listening to the Dos Amigos podcast, thank you so much. This is a very special episode, a very exciting one for us because it's getting a little personal, a little deeper dive. We normally never do this, where neither you or I never really do this, but
It's foreign territory.
Foreign
right here.
territory.
Yes,
You want to
indeed.
introduce who our guest is?
Our guest is a model, a dive master, a mother of two, and the partner to mi hermano, mi amigo, Wilmer Valderrama, Amanda Pacheco.
¿Cómo? Ay, 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 ay. Muy bien. Honey,
Hi.
welcome to the Dos Amigos podcast.
Thanks.
How does it feel?
I mean, I could literally count on like two fingers how many times I've talked into a microphone. So, supernatural.
Yeah. Well, look, we're gonna make it super easy because
Yes.
obviously this episode.
You're in the hot seat.
Yeah, this is supposed to be
It's
fun.
like an
and silly.
interrogation.
That's how I feel right
Yeah, and we never have, it's called Dos Amigos, but today you're the third amiga.
You're the amiga, yeah.
So very excited. So Leo, our producer, Leo Clam, had this idea that, we've gone the whole season talking to some amazing friends of ours who, have played different roles in our lives. And, it all came full circle to, the two people in our lives that are made a major contribution, and if not, it life enhancing and altering moment as we revolutionize ourselves as actually not just grown-ups but real men, Yeah. So we thought that having an episode where we just pay tribute to the women that makes us whole and the women that makes us better, I thought would be a really cool idea. We have a little bit of a game for those of you who are expecting what this episode is going to be, and we're going to play against each other a little bit, and Freddy's going to run that game. But before that, it would be my pleasure for you all to meet who Amanda Pacheco is.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Amanda, where are you originally from?
So I was born in San Diego,
Uh-huh.
and I grew up in a small town near Sacramento called Rockland, California.
Rockland.
I lived there for most of my life until I moved around as I got older and have lived all over.
Yeah.
Mostly Northern California, Southern California, but I jumped around. Lived in Hawaii for a little bit.
Oh, wow.
Lived in the Philippines for a little bit.
Why did you live there when you were a child? Why were you moving so much?
Well, this was not when I was a child, so this was like as I got older. So like just, growing up, and took some time off of college and like just jumped around a little bit just to explore and have fun and live my life.
And why there? Why did you choose to go to the Philippines and Hawaii?
So Hawaii, I mean, for obvious reasons. I mean, who doesn't want to live in Hawaii?
That's
that
true.
was a magical time. When I went to the Philippines, I went there for a scuba diving trip, actually. And I went there for 1 week on a liveaboard. So I basically went on a dive trip. You go on a dive boat for a week. You live on the boat and you just hop around different islands and you go on a bunch of different dives. While I was there, I remember I was on my phone and I'm looking through my maps and I'm looking at all of the places that I was so close to. And I was like, I want to explore this place so much more. So as everybody was packing their bags up and they're like, oh, got to get back to work on Monday, I was like, do I really need to get back to work on Monday? So I ended up saying goodbye to everybody that was flying home back to the States. And I ended up staying in Manila and
By yourself?
by myself. And I ended up staying there for 6 months.
Wow.
Just traveling solo. Completely different culture in the Philippines. I ended up meeting a family out there. They took me in and I ended up living there. I honestly never wanted to come home, but eventually I ended up coming home, but it was a magical time. I went to Hong Kong while I was there. I went to Bali. Where else did I go? I mean, a ton of different islands. The Philippines has over like 7,000 islands. So I hopped around all kinds of different islands, just diving and
Yeah.
What was
I was
the
gonna,
thing?
Yeah.
I was gonna ask, what was the thing about the the culture that kind of captivated you so much that made you anchor yourself there and wanting to submerge yourself more in it?
I mean, just the hospitality of just the people there. It was just like, I don't know, I felt so safe there. I just felt like, I mean, I was by myself, you know, so traveling alone was terrifying for my dad. When I told him that I was staying there, he's like, "What do you mean? Like,
Why are you doing
what are you
this?
doing? You know, if you get
How old are
lost."
you? How old are you?
This was 2017,
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
I'm only asking because you said your dad was. So I'm a dad, so I could imagine if my
Yeah.
child at a certain age says, "I want to stay in the Philippines for 6 months."
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't matter like what age your kid is, like you're always going to be like, what as a parent, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, my dad was absolutely terrified. Like he blames all of his gray hairs on me on that specific time of my life. But yeah, I don't know. It felt like another home to me. I don't know. I can't wait to take you back there sometime.
Yeah. So then when you started exploring the Philippines and you're like, oh, I think I'm going to stay here forever. What was the one thing that you're like, I got to go back home at some point?
Mostly like my family and my friends were like, can you come home?
Yeah,
Like, when
also
are you
your
gonna
relationship
come
with your
home?
dad, because you and your dad are like besties
Yeah, I'm
too.
so close with my family, and that's the reason why like I had lived so close. Like I never like went too far from home because I just always wanted to be close to my family. So probably that. Yeah. But you know, you go on vacation, you're like, oh, I can't wait to come back here sometime. And then you realize like, well, I'm already here. Like why if you don't have to go home, like
Right.
you never know when you're actually going to go back to that place. And for me, that's why I sometimes don't go home, because I know that when you get back home, life gets crazy and then it's hard to get back to those places. So if I'm somewhere, I'm like, I'm just going to stay if I can.
And did you have the same experience in Hawaii?
Same thing. I went
Same
there
thing.
for my 22nd birthday, my 21st birthday. And I told my mom, I'm not coming home. And she was like, the hell you are.
That's
Like,
the phone call you want to
Yeah,
get.
yeah,
you know,
exactly.
yeah.
I'm sure
I was
she loved
with
that.
my mom. We went for my birthday trip, and she was like, you're coming home with me. Like, you're getting on that plane. And I was like, no. Well, I ended up going home on the plane with my mom, but I did go back like immediately after. And then I ended up staying there for about a year.
A year?
Yeah.
Did you stay with the family?
No, not on that trip. I stayed there for, I stayed there for a year. Actually, it was like under a year. I got island fever pretty quick because I was like exploring every day.
Every single friend that we have that has either moved to Hawaii or moved there to do a job, eventually at some point there's like a zooming in that happens that you're like, oh, okay, the most beautiful place in the world. How many times am I going to go to this beach?
Oh,
Then, like,
really?
you know what I mean?
Does
Like
it get
it's
repetitive?
It gets repetitive. Then you get this era where like, oh man, I you know, it's like the same day over and over and over again. You know,
Oh, interesting.
you know, our our brother Jay Hernandez.
yeah.
You know, he had a tough one though because he was leading this show and he was in Hawaii. And he was basically in every single scene. So he was like so exhausted, he couldn't even enjoy the place, you know. He would go like surfing occasionally and stuff, but like at the end of the day, you're there to do this job.
Yeah.
But it is a unique kind of experience to go there. So then you explore Hawaii. Did you dive there too?
At that time, I wasn't diving, so no, I was doing a lot of snorkeling, and a lot of friends that I had made there were like, "Don't get in the ocean," because it's funny how a lot of like the natives are like very aware of how dangerous the ocean is. So I'm going there and I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna get in the water and I'm gonna swim forever. But they know how dangerous it is and the things that can happen in the ocean. So they were like, you need to be safe and not just like go out there and thinking that you know how to
Right.
swim.
But what made those waters different or more dangerous than what? Because you were obviously accustomed to a certain type of water that you felt comfortable enough to just go swim. What was different that made theirs dangerous?
I mean, I think just like bigger waves and,
Oh,
you
okay.
know, like just different.
Unpredictable waters too,
Yeah.
right? I mean, it's also like it's very deep waters over there. So you're talking about some of the biggest animals in the water too.
Oh, is that it too?
A lot
Like
of sharks
and all that?
I'm honestly way more terrified of sharks here than anywhere else. So
I guess you don't look like food anywhere else in the world except for California.
yeah.
And then you came back to the United States, right? And then where did you go to school at that point, or you had gone to school before that?
Let me think. So then I came back, and what did I do? I went to community college for like ever, and then I moved to San Diego. I was going to go to school out there, and I was studying at the time environmental studies, and I was supposed to start school out there the same week that I was supposed to go to school. That's when I got a call that my mom was sick, and so I moved back home, and then never went back to school.
Right.
You had when we first met, we had such an incredible, insightful conversation about the moments in life that teaches you the purpose, right? I guess, and I may be a little more specific. The times we were recognizing that we both have certain patterns in our lives, whether it was in relationships, whether it was in, in the way we live life, whether it was in professions, how we looked at the world and how we communicate with the world. And some of our differences made it even more exciting to explore in different ways, So one of the things that really captivated me was, your story with you and your mom, which is one of the most, sober moments that any son or daughter can experience with your mother. And you've been very outspoken about this, and you've played a lot of tribute to your mother every year. Every year we have a tradition where the whole family, I was invited, I think a year in, so to go to this kind of, ceremonial, time where they go to San Diego and they pay respects to the mother, and there's a place where she was set to rest. And so every year we come and we bring flowers, and every year we've come and introduced our new, we introduced Nakano, and this year we introduced Wolf. And they have a beautiful tradition of always remembering, your mother. And what I loved about, the story of your mother is that at first it feels, oh, what a selfless act when I get out of college, and you take care of your mother during the time that she was ill. But it's kind of what we do for family,
Right.
and it's a universal kind of primal calling. It says, okay, I got to drop everything, I got to be here, and I got to experience every minute. And you have been a strong advocate. If you don't mind talking a little bit about your mom's journey and what made you such an advocate for cancer.
Yeah, so my mom was diagnosed with stage 4 ovarian cancer. It wasn't something that, was anything we thought she needed to worry about. Like, it wasn't something that like was in our family. So it wasn't something that she was like on the lookout for. It's also a cancer that really has no like symptoms,
Yeah.
no signs. They're like very subtle. All of the signs are like what you would feel if you were just like on your period. So like nothing like crazy out of the ordinary until it gets very serious. And then that's when you realize like, oh, something's wrong. At that point, it's already at such an advanced stage that it's really hard to,
So you get the news and you embark in a journey of, staying by your mother's side throughout the process. And one of some of the conversations that we had, she had shaved her head with her mom. And it was just like, to me, it was the most, it was like the ultimate sign of, I'm going to stand by my mother's side and all that. And I respected that so much. My family is very close too. And no matter whether my family is either a Spanish telenovela, like a Colombian telenovela, or it's like a very joyous Christmas, but above it all, if something were to happen in the family, we show up. I mean, I know that you have a very similar relationship with your family. You know, something, you know, either in success or in failure and all that. You guys kind of gather around and celebrate that, no?
Yeah, we do. We do. My mom is suffering from something very similar now. She has cancer in her pancreas, and so you know we've also gathered in the way that you have and have been supportive. And it's her third bout with cancer. You know, she had breast cancer in '98 when it came back after my dad passed a couple of years ago, and then the third time. So I you know I sympathize with you and very aware of what you must have went through. But he was saying that the journey has been also you bringing awareness to that. How has that awareness? What's that journey been like for you? Just shining a light on it.
I think the biggest thing is just talking about it, because there really is no preventative measures as far as ovarian cancer goes. So it's really just talking about it. And like, there's the one test that's like kind of preventative is the BRCA1 and 2 like gene mutation test. So people can test for that. If they're positive for that, then you know that they kind of know whether or not like that's something that could increase their chances of getting either breast or ovarian cancer. I actually had a friend who tested positive for it because I think her mom tested positive for it. So she's like, oh, now that I know that it's something that's in my family, I'm going to test for it. She tested positive. And she thought she was doing her, you know, routine checks for it to make sure that she wasn't, which is like either to do that test or like a vaginal ultrasound. Other than that, there's not a whole lot of like other tests that you can do preventatively. So she decided to get a surgery done, to a hysterectomy, and found out that when she woke up from surgery, she ended up having ovarian cancer. And she had no idea, and there was no way of them telling until they actually removed her ovaries.
Wow.
So yeah, it's a really scary cancer to have because of that reason. And just by talking about it, because it's not something that's super obvious.
Yeah. Finding community too. Well, I was very taken by your passion about prevention, because you know that's something in the Latino families. It's such a hard thing to push our families to just go to the doctor and just check it out. I know you don't feel anything. I know you feel perfect, but like let's go and check it out. And you had a really strong opinion about, you know, the prevention conversation versus what's allowed in when it comes to testing, and the when is allowed for you to be tested. Do you mind talking a little bit about that? Like all those perimeters that basically tell doctors tell you, come back in like 10 years, or come back in.
Yeah, it's tough because they have these age, you know, where they think that this is when you should go and get these tests done, like whether you're 45 or 50. So I have to really advocate for myself on these tests. And you know, they are starting to realize like, oh, you know, women are getting diagnosed a lot younger. So when you're pushing for these things, they're starting to realize like, okay, you know, being a little bit more understanding about it. But when I first started asking for these tests, it was really hard because they're like, oh, it's not, you're healthy, you don't have to worry about it right now. And I was like, no, I do need to worry about it right now.
How old were you when you were asking for it?
So when my mom got diagnosed, I was 22. Yeah, 22, 23. And so, yeah, around that age is when I wanted to figure out like where my like blood markers were at, where I like my starting points were.
And what would they tell you when you would ask for it?
They would just tell me, well, because I have a history of it, like they were like, oh, okay. But at the same time, you know, I had a history of like my grandfather died of colon cancer. And so when my mom was sick, I was all messed up. Like I had all kinds, like my body was not okay.
Right.
And so internally,
you were stressed. You were
I
feeling the
was super
vibration.
stressed. Yeah. And so then I started asking for a colonoscopy because I was like, maybe I'm not okay. Like maybe something's wrong. Because of how my body was managing the stress. And so when I asked for a colonoscopy, and there was reasons why, they were like, no, like, and even I fought for it. And then finally, when they gave it to me, they still like gave me a really hard time while I was there. They were just like, why are you here? You're the youngest person here. You don't need this. Like, no one here your age is getting this done. And so, and like I had to get some things removed, and it's something that I have to do. Like,
Yeah, of course. And I'm so, by the way, thank you profoundly for being so open and vulnerable to talk about these things, because, you know, most of our generation, and specifically our age group, you know, we're entering a zone where like we should have been tapping into this thing way earlier. Like we should have been, you know, just aware of where it could go, so you could really be aware. You know, colon cancer is the most preventable. Right. All you have to do is just check it out. Like it's literally the most preventable. And why? It's because you can do, you know, this test, and they can really understand, and they can help remove the potential certain things in real time, right? Yeah. So that's when that happens, it's just I felt in a lot of my conversations and a lot of my advocacy for colon cancer, I've realized that it's sometimes culturally where, you know, that is almost like not at the conversation we should have. Right. And, you know, and as Latinos, like definitely this weird taboo about this thing that people don't really want to, you know, even have a conversation about. But I really do hope that these conversations kind of humanizes, and no one, this stuff doesn't discriminate absolutely anyone. It doesn't target a specific group. It targets every single one of us. And the fact that you're able to talk about it and be that open about it is really incredible, because we need these conversations to happen at the most unlikely places, so people can actually come across with information that hopefully inspires them to say, you know what, dude, like tomorrow I'm gonna make that call. Right. Like I hope anyone who's listening to this conversation now goes, shit, man, like, okay, cool, let me just do it. I mean, these people are doing it and they feel young and healthy or whatever. Like maybe I should just check it out too.
But even her point of view about ovarian cancer, because you had a really interesting point. You said that unlike other cancers, there's no real symptoms. There's no real symptoms. There's no real detection, right? There's a sort of age in place in which the doctors suggest that you go and get tested before anything, right? Like what age would the doctor say is average that a woman should go get tested for ovarian cancer?
I feel like most of these are like in your 40, like 50, even 45, older, 50, really. Right? Like 45, 50 is like starting point. But even then, like if you don't have like any like signs or whatever, then they're like, oh, you know, you should be fine unless there's something that you feel is not fine, you know. But
by that time you said then it's too late.
Yeah.
If you do have a sign.
You could have had something at 30, and that's not 15 years later.
Yeah. And I think that was like my mom's biggest work. Like she always wanted to know, is this something that I had for a really long time and I didn't know about it and I could have known about it? Or is it something that like I just woke up with and it's like
and then expedited?
Yeah. So we'll never know.
How old was your mother when she passed?
She was 45, 44,
and did she find out at 45?
She found out, 45.
At 45,
and then they gave her 6 months to a year in 1 year, almost to the day of her diagnosis. Yeah.
Did your mom have a history of it before she got it?
Not that we know of.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that's tough, right? For like women like your mom who's
it's just like a fluke,
Yeah, just like, you know, so should that be something, would you suggest for all women like at 25? Like whether you have a history of it or not?
If you have like ovaries, I think that you should be like, it should be getting checked out.
Right.
Yeah, no, it's an evergreen conversation, right? I mean, I think it's like the best solution is to just get on it. I mean, like, and we obviously none of us are guarantee a solution, you know. But if you talk about maybe your mom didn't have any history of ovarian cancer before her, and now you do, right? So now she has it, and now Amanda now has. History, a very near history of her mother having it, which it's a great indicator to say, like, just stay ahead of it, you know?
Right.
But I again, like, this is also a great call and a great, serendipitous, moment of this conversation to basically tell everyone who's listening or watching that you got to advocate for younger prevention. You got to advocate to get ahead of it in early detention, right? And I think the idea is also to pass the urgency of health to our children. So then they change it up for our culture, right? Because it has to spread and evolve into our culture's, truth that prevention is something that culturally we should also be part of our truth as Latinos and any other, minorities and ethnic backgrounds that also embrace that, like, I'll take a back seat. I'll go there when it hurts. I'll drink and talk to Pepper.
That's the problem. If you go because you're feeling something's not right, then it's scary. But if you go and you're like, oh, I feel fine, nothing's going to be wrong.
Right.
Then it's a little bit easier.
Easier.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, pivoting from that, and again, very grateful that you went there with us.
Yeah.
The idea that this was one of the moments, like this is the woman that was carrying herself with so much truth, so much reality, and so much foresight, was one of the first things that I was like, she's really interesting. I feel like I'm going to know her. And when we first met, it was this ongoing conversation of the things that we actually wanted in life.
Which was where? How did you first two meet?
Well, we had a mutual friend. We both have interesting perspectives from where she is and where I sit.
She has a different perspective.
Absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely.
I just
wanna
have
hear
a
both.
shorter version.
I want to hear both.
The shorter version, and I said the cliffhanger because we might use this one for social, is that I really fell in love with your dad first.
Armando.
This is the clip that Leo wanted for social media. We got it. Yeah.
Your dad's a cool guy.
Oh, he's a cool
Yeah.
guy.
My best friend.
He's my second dad too. He's just he's awesome, and he's an incredible friend to my dad. He's just
A great truck driver.
He is a retired truck driver. Thank God, finally.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about that history too, because that was something.
And
that was
Pacheco,
interesting
your
to
last
me.
name is Pacheco. So your dad, what's his ethnic background?
My dad is Mexican.
He's Mexican.
And he was a truck driver for all of his life and recently retired this year. So
He finally did it.
Yeah, but you grew up.
I met your dad.
You grew
he
up
was-
on that truck. You
I
grew up.
did.
Because when I met your dad, he was talking about retiring, but he actually did it.
Yeah.
Okay.
he
No, yeah.
finally
Yeah,
did.
yeah.
Yeah, you talked to him about it like 4 years ago or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I finally kicked him hard enough.
And he did it. That's it. Done.
Yeah. So we met through a mutual friend.
Yeah.
And I kind of I kind of was in this limbo. I was like, oh, should I say hi? Should I not? It was this serendipitous feeling that I felt like I needed to connect with her.
Yeah.
And as soon as we connected, it was, she had plans to move to Miami because she wanted to do modeling in Miami. One more of her adventures where it's going to lead her to Miami.
Was she living in San Diego when y'all met?
She had just moved to LA.
moved to
You
LA.
just moved out. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe a month ago.
Yeah,
Like a
so
month before.
it was a quick intersection before she jumped on another flight, go to Miami.
Right.
But either way, she was wondering about Miami and all the stuff. And obviously, I'm from Miami, so I was giving her advice on where to live, and the things to expect about Miami and all that, because she was gonna go to Miami. And one afternoon we decided to meet for coffee, and we met at Zinc or Cinque. Oh, Cinque at
In Miami.
No, this was in LA. So we in West Hollywood, across from the Pacific Design Center, and we just had like a 3-hour conversation about everything that about our lives and all that. And I just knew that I was gonna know this person. And then we walked over to Joe and the Juice, and we had another coffee there. And then I was getting picked up because I was going to Operation Smile in Park City, with my friend Jennifer Sake, and it was an amazing organization, by the way. We could just bringing smiles to the planet, which is incredible. But the point is, I was leaving, and as I was leaving our coffee, we had talked about everything, And I was like, I'm gonna know this person. And as soon as I got in the car and I drove it to her car, and as soon as I took off, I was like, I think this person's gonna be my friend. I think I'm gonna have a new friend, And we kind of sent each other a few messages, and then she was like, hey, what are you doing Monday when you get in? And I was like, let's hang out again. So we met a second time, and then we were just, talking and talked more and had a great time. And was that when we went to the movies, or when did we go to the movies after?
Yeah, We went to the movies like right after that.
On the second time.
Yeah.
So second date movies.
So we went to see the movies, and the
But
most,
there's more to the movie
yeah,
than just the movie.
Okay, so we're gonna go to the movies, and my friend Tadao was gonna meet us there and all that stuff. And dude, it was the opening night for Dumbo, and we're gonna go watch Dumbo. And as we're
Tim Burton Dumbo.
Tim Burton Dumbo. And as we walk in to the movie theater, my mom and my two sisters coincidentally show up to the same movie. This was not planned at all.
No way.
I still don't believe that it was planned.
It was not planned at all. But it was the opening night, and it was like the showing before dinner, right?
Yeah.
So like I knew that my sisters were gonna go to a movie at some point, and of course it was gonna be on this night. And we woke up, and I'm like, Amanda, meet my mom.
Oh, wow.
And my sisters. So of course Cinderella and my sisters are like, it's the two sisters were, and like and obviously they're so sweet, they're funny, they were like totally fine, but of course for her it's like, what the hell just happened? I'm meeting his best friend's girlfriend, and then now wife, and mother of his child. And then also my mom and my two sisters. So she like was thrown in the deep end on the second
Meeting
night.
the mom, I mean, that's a big deal.
But but it was beautiful because we went to the movie, and we didn't have, she didn't have to talk to them. So that was good. The craziest part for me was when we went to dinner right after. And we're sitting there, and my friend had brought his daughter, Aiko's daughter, and they're sitting there, and she finds out that Amanda is a dive master, and she starts asking questions about the ocean, and Amanda spent the entire dinner talking to this young girl about the ocean, about what she's seen, about the places she's gone and what she's discovered under the ocean. And I'm watching her talk to this young girl and having the patience and being so passionate to tell her about the ocean and the nature and all the stuff that she loves as an ocean lover herself. And I literally said to myself, she's the mother of my children.
On the second day?
On the second day. I knew she was going to be an incredible mother. The way you took the time to talk to her, I was like, if she has half that patience with our annoying-ass kids, it's going to be great. Thankfully, Nakano is just as an adventure freak as her mother. So pretty good. But let's hold that right there. And we're going to say this is part one. And stay tuned for part two of my conversation with my chimichurri. And I think next we're going to play a little game too.
A little game. Stay tuned.
Yeah.